The strength gains are insane. This is literally power in a bottle. What is up, everyone? It's Roos. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's ASMR sip is sponsored by 1907. Coupon code Russo. Intelligent Elephant Carbon for the ASMR spirits. Today is the introduction, aka the first video, aka do not come at me on the first video, of turning the encyclopedia playlist of all the compounds. Comment a name down below for this series. I'm going to be going into every single PED agent, and these are designed to be forms, meaning I'm giving the basis of what I personally know. I don't know everything. And then you guys are commenting, correcting me, and or adding on. So the people who stumble across this video not only get the information that's concise in the actual video itself, but the comment section as well. So I'm looking forward to, again, educating myself with these videos after they're posted off the comments. Also, please like this video to rank it in search. Let's get into it. Anadrol, Oxymetholone is the most powerful, and by the way, this is all referenced from Anabolic's 11th edition, basically the most powerful oral steroid ever. It was first introduced in the 1960s, sold under the brand name Anadrol-50 by Park Davis and Company. Hold the patent rights until expiration years later. And this was developed for debilitation, chronic underweight states, aka primarily they were looking for a compound to help AIDS patients. So AIDS patients rapidly deteriorate in size. Back in the 1960s, Anadrol was one of the ways to help someone going through chemotherapy or on AIDS hold size on their frame and make that a little bit easier. Let's go into the androgenic anabolic rating. So the androgenic rating is 45, which, for example, reference points, testosterone is 100, and the anabolic rating is 320. For example, testosterone is 100. 100, 100. On paper, it's not very androgenic. It's extremely anabolic. You cannot trust the anabolic to androgenic reading because there are certain drugs when you take them, you're like, okay, this is very anabolic. I won't have any androgenic side effects. And all of a sudden you have all these androgenic side effects. So I would take that with a grain of salt. The next thing I wanted to get into is the Enzyme 3-alpha hydrosteroid dehydrogenase, which I'll have Andrew post up. That's basically an enzyme that is causing way more signaling in the AR in the muscles, which is why Anadrol is so potent. So that is like one of the little Blue's Clues on how Anadrol is so strong. Now let's get into the side effects. Right off the bat with Anadrol, you can expect water retention. So you would want to use this at an optimal body fat, and you would also want to use it at a optimal blood pressure reading, meaning it's going to skyrocket your blood pressure. It's going to put a film of water onto your body. It's going to wreck your good cholesterol and raise your bad cholesterol. So your HDL on your blood work is going to go down. Your LDL on your blood work is going to go up. This is a methylated oral steroid, meaning every single oral administration, the liver is being taxed heavily. And overall, I would not recommend running Anadrol more than, preferably for me, like if I'm going to tell someone my thoughts, again, I've never played around with Anadrol, but I'm just talking about what my friends have experienced, is that, you know, you just take it for 1 to 3 weeks, right? That's it. 4 weeks being max. I'm not one of those proponents of trying to get away with this for 6 weeks. As far as the main thing you're gonna notice after every single gym session is you're gonna feel lethargic and you're gonna feel like you cannot eat, right? You're gonna feel queasy, and that means your Anadrol is legit if that is happening. And a lot of people run into this issue of, oh, they're bulking, right? You know, I'm eating, 5,000 calories a day. If I don't continue eating 5,000 calories a day while I'm damaging my body on this testosterone Anadrol cycle, I'm not going to continue putting on mass. The whole goal is to put on mass. Why? Can I eat anything? And Anadrol will start to destroy your appetite You'll feel horribly lethargic. You won't be able to hold food down. And this is, again, why I personally never fucked around with Anadrol that much. I fucked around with Superdrol a little bit. But as far as Anadrol goes, it's always like when I research into Anadrol, again, MPMD, Leo, Vigorous Steve, Anabolic Doc, all these guys are always going into the lethargic feeling and how to beat and overcome the lethargy. So for people to say that this drug carries hefty amounts of side effects, right? Let's not forget about the poised benefits, which the strength gains are insane. This is literally power in a bottle. You're going to notice the strength gains immediately, and they're going to be dramatic. AKA, I'm talking like you could be repping 225, couple days of 50 to 100 Anadrol a day, and you could be close to repping 315. It could be that dramatic where you're throwing another extra plate on each side without little change other than adding in the Anadrol. It is that strong. With all this being said, it is a proponent of gynecomastia. It does not undergo aromatization because it is a dihydrotestosterone derivative. It could behave as progesterone. Again, we're like throwing around apples to oranges when we're thinking on the cellular level of what's going on. All the bodybuilders who have taken it, right, get gyno symptoms. So again, you're looking at blood pressure, liver toxicity, cholesterol being killed, gynecomastia, being lethargic as fuck, but you are getting strong as fuck. You will be able to put on 20 to 30 pounds in, again, 4 weeks, and it will be a good Kickstarter for your testosterone cycle. So that's the main primary reason, is when you're doing a bulk, you're in your off season, you want to kickstart your off season, you start injecting testosterone and enthate. Well, you're not going to feel the testosterone and enthate until around week 4. What do you do in the meantime? Oh, Kickstarter with Anadrol, boom, strength's going through the roof. Every time you go in the gym, you're hitting a new PR. The bulk is going great. You're somehow minimizing the lethargic feeling. You're pushing through. The blood pressure is kind of staying in check. That's the normal method of approach with Anadrol, or adding in Anadrol mid or late through the cycle. Let's say the cycle's already kicked in, you've fucking moved up as far as all your sets, your working volume, everything is getting stronger, and then you hit this plateau at the end, and it's like, well, if I'm damaging my body this bad, I have my food redlined, and I'm still not actually progressing in my training, boom, add in the Anadrol, and then your shit will all skyrocket, and we'll see if you can tolerate feeling like absolute dog shit trying to tolerate this drug. I have seen people get pukey in the gym with Anadrol. Right? You can get pukey in the gym. It can be so horrible that you could just like do a set and then you want to puke and then you can't lift for the rest of the time. Anadrol is that powerful in certain individuals. Now, as far as hair loss is concerned, MPMD did a video discussing that it is relatively safe hair compound. I can't comment on that. And overall, it's again based DHT. But when we have females taking a little bit of Anadrol, especially in the figure category, you think it's tolerable as far as the hairline is concerned. I would much more be looking at all the other vicious side effects than the hair loss, but I did want to touch on that. Dosing Anadrol. So you'll read online that 50 meg a day of Anadrol is normally where people sit. Obviously, my 2 cents harm mitigation, you can go lower. And then there's people who take 100 meg a day. And then there's people that don't care about wanting to puke after every gym session and go to 150 milligrams a day, to which their liver is being trashed. That is the normal method of administration and dosing. And it's all dosed again around pre-workout to again capitalize on that instant power in a bottle, and this will go on for 4 weeks until your liver is like, no. The 17-alkylated methylation is no joke on the liver. It's like running knives through your liver. You do not want to wake up one day and you look in the mirror and the whites in your eyes are yellow because you're taking too much Anadrol, being addicted to the power. Overall, Russo's thoughts. Feel free to correct, comment down below. This is the first video of this series. My thoughts are, I've never played around with Anadrol because it's so fucking powerful. powerful. It's been a tool in my toolbox if I need it later in my career. It overall makes people extremely lethargic. Everyone that I know always loves, you know, they're repping 315 for sets of 20. Everything feels light as fuck. And then after, they can't get their food down. They feel horrible. Their blood pressure's through the roof. It's like 130, 140 resting. And it's just like all these cascading side effects of it being the most powerful oral anabolic steroid. You're going to get the side effects associated with the most powerful anabolic oral steroid. So to say that, oh, this can all be mitigated, no, you just gotta know what you're trading off. You're paying the piper with all those side effects. If you have the caloric intake and you're in a bulk in the off season, you're not cutting, or it's going to make you look a bit watery. It's going to put a film of water over you, which is going to make lifting heavy, very comfortable. It's not an aesthetic drug per se. It's definitely revolving around powerlifting, gaining strength and bodybuilding volume, arm wrestling, things of that nature is where Anadrol shines. Now, I would definitely watch your blood pressure extremely closely. I would honestly do 2 readings a day on blood pressure if I'm going to be using Anadrol aggressively, right? I'm going to get my blood pressure taken before and then see how my blood pressure sits after my workout with the Anadrol in my system. If I'm like at stage 2 hypertension after the workout, I might not be in hypertension before, depending on how the Anadrol hits the system. That being said, there are a lot of people who love Anadrol because it's the best of the best, and I don't blame them. I don't come at them on, oh, it's so toxic, this and that. This is all known. I'm more harping on with this type of drug. If you are that top dog in the gym and you have gotten strong as shit and you have the joints and tendon strength built up to progress your gym volume, and you have already accepted all these risks that I have elaborated about, then Anadrol is the most powerful oral you can fuck around with. And at 50 to 100 mg a day, you're gonna notice an extreme difference in the gym as far as strength, power, and overall bravado of pushing through your workout at a much more vicious superhuman pace. That's a shit ton of fucking side effects. I personally don't want to fuck around with that. I fucked around with Superdrol. Obviously, in my opinion, Anadrol being superior and Anadrol being more, again, widely known in the medical field because this was actually used in the medical field for a long time before, again, they're like, holy fuck, this is too toxic for these AIDS and cancer patients. We need to go back to the drawing board, harm mitigate this compound, and or come out with a new anabolic that's less toxic. That's pretty much what I have to say about Anadrol. As far as what you guys think of this video series, I want some critiques, criticisms, what you want to see moving forward. I could dig into the multiple medical literatures around Anadrol. It's like if I start highlighting these specific studies, some studies are just made to, again, hype the drug to get more funding. Some studies, in my opinion, you read through and you're like, this doesn't equate to reality, and I don't want to be looking like the bookworm just digging and reading through studies. I more want to give what's out of this book that's written by doctors. I want to give the common lingo around Anadrol, and then my personal 2 cents on how it's used, and then my overall thoughts if I've used it, why I'm not using it, specifically this drug, and what I think. Please let me know down below how to go about this video series, but I plan on doing every single compound. I'll see you in my next video.